welcome back to Programming for Beginners. This is Bttersweet. Today we'll be building a program to run ChatGPT using Python. You may have heard of ChatGPT these days. It's a super popular AI chatbot built on top of OpenAI's large language model. And again, this course is designed for absolute beginners, so I'll be guiding you along the way and explaining some of the basic programming concepts, such as data types, variables, and operators. So let's begin. Go to openai.com/product. Click on the Get Started button and create a new account if you don't have one already. From your account menu, click on View API Keys, create new secret key, and copy and save this somewhere because we'll be using it later. Next, let's create a new project and name it ChatGPT .py. You can save this anywhere you like. Open up Terminal, and next let's install the OpenAI package. We can do so by typing pip3 install OpenAI. And finally, let's import this package. Import OpenAI, and we're ready to start coding. First, let's paste the API key that we got from the website here, the key that starts with SK something, and surround it with quotation marks. The quotation marks indicate that this is a data type of text, or what we call a string. And let's save it into a variable called myAPI key. A variable is something whose value can change, and here we set the value of myAPI key to this string. And if I print myAPI key right afterwards, press Command build to build, you can see that it prints the value of this variable to the console. And I can change the value of my API key to something else, like hello, and print again. You can see that the value changed to hello. So let's remove this for now. Next, we need to define the model that we will be using for ChatGPT. The model name will be GPT-3.5-turbo, and this is also a string. I got this value from the official documentation for ChatGPT, and you can see that the value of model can have two possible values. And there's also other things that we can tune the model with. For example, this n here of how many chat completion choices to generate for each input message. Let's define that. N is equal to 2, which means we want 2 responses from the AI. And 2 is a data type of integer. Let's see, we can also set the temperature, which is between 0 and 2. Higher values like point A will make the output more random, while lower values like point 2 will make it more focused and deterministic. So let's set temperature equal to 1.2, so somewhat random. And this data type is what we call a float, or floating point number. And next we need to define the actual messages to send to ChatGPT. And the messages have to be in this chat format. Let's see what that is. The chat format basically has a role and a content. The role can be 3 possible roles, either system, user, or assistant. So user is just us, the users. Assistant is the AI, and system is kind of like an initial message that we sent to ChatGPT to determine its behavior. So let's do that. Message 1 is equal to role of system, and content would be you are a helpful assistant. This is just to define the behavior of this AI. And let's set another message with the role of user. This is kind of the initial message that we sent to ChatGPT. Let's ask who are you? So the message is in a data format called a dictionary. Dictionaries are a collection of keys and values. And here we have the key of role corresponding to the value of system. And we have the key of content corresponding to the value of you are a helpful assistant, which all of these are strings because they're surrounded by quotation marks. Next, let's put these messages together and let's define a messages variable that is equal to the collection of messages that we defined above. So message 1 and message 2. The messages variable is in the format of what we call a list or an array. And this list is a list of dictionaries that we defined here. So next, let's call the OpenAI API to actually send these messages to ChatGPT. First, let's define the API key to be my API key that we defined above. Don't worry too much about the dot notation here. This is just saying that we're modifying this property of OpenAI to be the value of this variable that we defined. We'll get into more details about properties, classes, functions in the upcoming lessons. But for now, just remember that use the dot notation to set the value. And next, let's call OpenAI. Follow the example on the left. Chat completion dot create pass in the value of model, which is equal to the model that we defined above. Messages to be the messages we defined above. The n equal to n from above. Temperature also equal to temperature we defined above. Let's save the response to this to a variable called response. And the final step is to print response to the console. And before we do that, I also have to update my API key to my actual API key. So let's build and run this. And if we expand this, we can see that ChatGPT returned 2 responses. First one is, I'm an AI language model designed to provide assistance and answer questions. And the second response is, I'm an AI language model designed to provide assistance and answers. How can I help you today? So they're kind of similar. Let's see if we can tune this more. Add another message, message 3, of the role assistant. And the content would be, my name is Leona. So by adding this new message with the role of assistant, we're hoping to train this AI that her name is Leona and see if it worked. So let's add another message. Message 4 with the role of user. And ask again, what is your name? And remember to update our messages list with the new messages that we just added. Build and run this again. Expand this. And we can see that we got 2 new messages back. The first one is, my name is Leona. And the second one is, my name is Leona. I'm an AI language model created by OpenAI designed to assist and interact with humans. How can I help you today? So our training worked, and the AI can now recognize her name as Leona. You can play around with this model and let me know if there's any creative things that you come up with. All of the code from today's lesson will be available on the GitHub link provided in the description part. So that'll be it for today's lesson. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for the latest video updates, and I will see you in the next lesson.